Hey everybody, welcome to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host Bennett Shear, and today we have another aired exception for you. Now, usually we're talking to the singers that you didn't see on American Idol, but as you know, we also talked to some contestants that you did see on season 20. So please welcome Emyrson, Flora.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so pumped to talk to you. As I just said, we got a chance to see you a lot on this season of Idol. You made top 10. Gosh, where do we begin? I mean, the journey must have started way before we even saw the show. The audition process begins way before the show premieres. So tell me
hmm
about where that started.
So basically, I've never really done anything with my music. It's really just been me in my bedroom. And I know they say that a million times. And I think in people's minds, it's like, okay, but like it's very real. Like it's me sitting in my room with my piano, singing to myself. And it's always been such a therapeutic thing for me. So my mom got an email, weirdly enough, and it was like an email, not like them reaching out to me, but it was just like an ad type of thing
Right.
that was, hey, like they're doing auditions, like you should try it. And it was like, okay. My mom was like, hey, like I know this is like a lot, but like we should just test it out. I don't really think anyone really thought, because it's such a huge thing. I don't really
Yeah.
think at all. I was like, this is gonna work out. So I ended up doing it, and I like signed up, and I was actually the last slot for the last day of auditions. And I was like, this is so weird, like this is terrifying. It's not at all. I did like a Zoom call with a producer, and I sang When We Were Young by Adele on my piano. And I was so nervous. I was like shaking, my face is like bright red. And I ended up singing, and he was like, okay, like we're gonna put you through the next guy. And it was another person. And then I went to another person. It was like the main producers, and they were like, yeah, me sing a couple songs. I think I sang like 3 songs. And they were like, okay, like you're gonna go sing to the judges. And I mean, I don't even think I really knew what was going on. I was just like, oh, okay, like what? And my mom started crying. It was so embarrassing. My
Oh.
mom was bawling her eyes out, and they were like, "Oh my god, like why are you crying?" There's no such thing, but it's insane. And I really never thought that going from that in my mom's office, just like thinking this is just gonna be like a little thing, to being top 10 on American Idol, I really couldn't have. It's crazy.
Those are always the best stories when you wouldn't have expected it. I mean, going from your bedroom to the American Idol stage, I'm also curious the fact that you go from those levels. I mean, had you been singing from a young age? Was it more recent? Because obviously it sounds like not a ton of actual on stage experience.
At all. So I grew up singing. I mean, I think my parents kind of thought, I think it's hard to know. Like, I always knew this is such a huge part of my life, but I don't think I ever was like, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, just because it's an insane dream. And everybody has this, it's insane. And so I think I started singing when I was 5, or really since I could talk. I've always been really into music, and I'd be sitting in the back seat of my parents' car, and I was just able to memorize songs so quick, and it was just weird. It's always been just such a huge part of my life. And I got a piano when I was 7 for Christmas from my grandma, and I taught myself. And I've just been writing music since I was so young, just making up songs. I have so many videos. And then during quarantine, I joined School of Rock. And it was like not really the actual School of Rock experience, because it was like COVID. And so I ended up doing like a show or two. So that was like, it was like 5 kids on a stage in front of like 10 people. And everyone was just kind of like, okay, that was good. Like parents, like it wasn't like a huge thing at all. So that was like it. Like that was all the like actual experience that I had.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you go from the like very first producer audition to then being in front of executive producers, finding out you go in front of the judges, you were nervous the first time, but as you kind of advance and you're getting closer and closer to actually making it onto the show, being on camera, do the nerves dial down because you're like, oh, I'm really good, they really like me? Or does it get harder to think, oh, wow, more and more people are seeing me?
I think it's tough because throughout, so auditions was just, I mean, walking in that room, it truly is like fake. Like everything about it is like it's insane. Like they look like dolls. I mean, I'm shaking. I really don't remember my audition at all, I'm not gonna lie. Um, that was really nerve-wracking because I just remember like some of the most talented people getting cut, and I was like, there's no way this is gonna happen, and it happened, and it was insane. And I think Hollywood Week was nerve-wracking the first round, but I think over time it's just like you gotta just keep doing it and pushing through. And I mean, you're surrounded by some of the most talented people you're gonna meet, and I think that helps a lot. It's really comforting. And then once you get to live show, I think it's like this is real, and we are in such a bubble in on set. It's like I think I don't. When I got home, I didn't realize how many people actually watched the show and like supported me. I think it's just wild, and I think it took me a while to really like have that click because it's such a surreal experience that not many people get to experience, especially at 16. So I think I don't think I was as nervous as I thought I was going to be, just because I wasn't. I kind of like like I was like two different people, and now I'm fully like, wow, that was the craziest thing ever. But I think in the moment you just have to take it in, and it's the funnest thing ever.
I don't think people always realize what it means to make top 10 because, obviously they're like, oh, you didn't win. I'm so disappointed. I would have at least loved, like, if you made the finale or whatever. But you're talking about like 100,000 people auditioning and all the rounds you had to go through, and you were just shocked to make it into that audition room. So to make top 10, I imagine that, obviously you're getting more comfortable. You get used to being on set. But at the same time, there's probably a party that's like, wow, like, this is really my life now.
Oh, it's insane. I just remember sitting in the hotel room with my mom, and every round I was like, just one more and I'll be happy. I'll be
Yeah.
good. Like this is fine. I like how many people get a golden ticket? Nobody. Like I'm fine. And then it's like the competitive side comes out, and you're
Oh,
like, God,
yeah.
I really want this.
Yeah.
And then I think I mean it's just surreal. Like I really have no I really don't know what to say when someone says something to me, because I'm just like, oh my God. Like sometimes I just sit alone in my room and I'm like, holy crap, I made top 10 on American Idol and I'm a senior in high school. Like I fully have to go to school the next day. And
Right.
I mean, it's wild. The whole thing is wild. And I couldn't be more grateful that I was given the opportunity to do this.
Wow. I mean that just like that story, because it's about normal people going from their normal lives to, finding this opportunity to showcase what they have, and the fact that you didn't quite know at first, you're singing and performing from a young age, but you probably didn't realize what it could turn into. All these people knowing your name, and
Right.
even I mean even before American Idol came into the picture, you're singing on TikTok, and as far as just putting yourself out there on social media, what was that like to take a chance on the platform and get comments from people?
See, it's definitely hard. I feel like it's harder for me because I am so young, and I'm putting myself out there while still being in high school. And I don't think people talk about that enough, is how like being a teenager isn't easy anyways. Being a teenager with 50,000 followers on Instagram, and having like being forced to kind of, you need to put yourself out there because I need to take this chance while it's happening. I think it's tough, and I don't think I was I expected any of. I mean, everyone has been so kind, but I think it's easy to feel like it could get annoying, or people are gonna be like, gosh, like here she is posting singing videos on TikTok. So before any of this, I kind of was a little bit shy with all of the social media things. I feel like on TikTok, I'd literally post singing videos of me like in the dark, like in my room, like in the dark, and be like, okay, like I'm singing, but I just didn't want people to see me. And it was weird. Like I don't know what I was thinking, but it's just it is like I'm still in high school, and I think people forget sometimes. And then now I think I'm way more comfortable. I'm learning that like people are following me because they support me, and this is what I want to do. So I have to work for it. And so now I enjoy it, and I love posting on social media. But definitely in the beginning, it was tough because I am 16 and I am a growing teenager in high school, and I still have to go to school the next day. And I don't know. It was hard at the beginning, but I'm growing a lot.
Sure, yeah. Well, making that adjustment from TikTok to the American Idol stage, or even just the audition room, lights, cameras, the judges, producers, um, I don't know. I gotta imagine that's a big step.
Oh, it's insane. Like the interviews, it's so tough at the beginning because you have to be vulnerable. And I'm not very good at that. I'm really good at just being like, everything's good. Like, this is so fun. But you have to just be yourself. Like, it's just tough at first because no one's used to having 15 cameras in their face and someone asking you questions and getting on stage in front of these insanely famous people and having to sing and be vulnerable and be yourself and let them see you. And I mean, it's definitely tough in the beginning, but over time, I've gotten way more used to it, and it's just a part of the growth. And I think we all start somewhere.
So interesting to me how I think about the age gap between like it's what 15 to 28, and I know that that seems small in comparison to other shows where maybe you kind of have people from all ages, but you're
Right.
talking about maybe like a 28-year-old who's had years of gigging experience, and then you know you being in high school, and you think to yourself, well they're in their interviews, they're talking about all the stuff they've been doing over the last decade, and like I'm over here
Right.
talking about, well, like I just took a test the other day, and to kind of figure out, okay, so what do I say here? I'm sure it's challenging.
No, oh my gosh. I remember having a conversation with Leah, and we were just waiting to do our like Gabby Barrett mentor. And I remember like I said something about homecoming and how all my friends are at homecoming right now. And I just remember everyone looked at me and was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's where I am in my life. Like I'm worried about what my homecoming dress is gonna look like and what my trig test, how I did on it yesterday. Like that's the stuff that I worry about." So it's like during interviews when they're like, "What?" Like all these like super deep questions. I'm like, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
they're like, what does this song mean to you? Like, how does this song really touch you? And I'm like, I really have no idea. Like, I'm sorry, but I literally have been alive for 16 years and I've done nothing. So this is the biggest thing that has ever happened to me. And I just, it's tough. Like, and I think all of them thought it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm in the exact same boat as all of these people that have had way more things happen to them in their life. So I feel like, I mean, it's just wild. Like, it's so weird. And I think I forgot sometimes that I am 16. So definitely weird.
But that's refreshing though, because not everybody would be able to admit that they're just living their normal 16-year-old life. Like, I think, I mean, it's easy to kind of think that you have to sort of put on this reality show face and look and act older. And you think about, I mean, there's a lot of actors and singers who are 16 or younger that are media trained that sort of try to look very adult and how they carry themselves and how they answer questions. But you're not trying to be anybody other than yourself, which frankly is kind of what American Idol is and should be about.
No, I 100% agree. I think it's all about, if I had to tell anyone auditioning for the show, it's truly just being yourself 100% and just being vulnerable and opening up because they love that. And that's what America wants to see. They want to see someone that started from nothing, which can mean anything, and just like finding themselves through music. And I think I did fully. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I couldn't be more grateful for this whole thing. It's wild.
Yeah, you got to experience almost every element of it because, going from auditions to Hollywood, Hawaii, and then the live shows, and then being a part of the finale. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not much more you could ask for, obviously, other than winning,
Right.
but like, you were there for so much of the,
Right.
the time.
It's crazy. It's
Um,
crazy.
Remind me which city that you went to audition.
Nashville.
Okay. It's usually a long week. I'm not sure which day you auditioned, but we talked about the interviews and tell me about what it was like meeting other people and maybe some friends that you made while you were waiting.
So I auditioned in Nashville, and I remember when I auditioned through the Zoom call, they were like, you can either go to LA or you can go to Nashville. LA was like in like 4 days, and then Nashville is like a month. And I was like, I'm gonna give it a month. Like I need to
Yeah.
like practice a little bit. And so I ended up auditioning in Nashville, and I was so nervous. I just remember like I wouldn't talk to anyone, and I'm a social person, I think, but I have my moments where it's just like this is like just nerve wracking. Everyone is so good. Everyone is so good. I don't think people understand. Like, I genuinely was like ready to go. I was like, there's gonna be some people, like every single person was incredible and insanely experienced. I'm sitting there just like, yeah, I like to sing in my room. And I think everyone was like, okay, like, cool. And then I just remember going into the hotel and everyone sitting in the lobby, like singing. And I was like, God, there's no way this is happening. Like, this is insane. And I went up to my room and I'm like, I was just freaking out. These rooms are gorgeous. It was just wild. And I had to take like this like psych test, and it was like like we had to like answer all these questions about like if we were like okay. And I was like, I'm good. And then the first day, so there's like different days. And the first day I think it was just like filming. And I just remember like I hadn't really talked to anyone yet. I was everyone's so kind too. It's not that like I was just really nervous and I was with my mom, which I think is hard because I was like attached to my mom the entire time. So I like was only talking to her. And then we had like interviews and that was really hard for me at first because everything makes me feel awkward sometimes. So like I just felt so uncomfortable a little, and they tried so hard to make everyone feel as good as they could. But over time, it gets so much easier. And then I remember meeting, who did I meet first? I think I met Cole Hallman first. And that was like, we had confessional, which is like when you're talking to the camera, horrible. Okay, some people are amazing at it. I am not one of those people. So I'm like freaking out. This is horrible. And I just remember looking through the crack. I hadn't met Cole yet. He's dancing in this room to himself. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, what's going on? And his sister's sitting there. Katie, love her to death. They like call me sometimes, and Katie will like call me and like say, "I sweetest girl ever." And his mom is so sweet too. And I just remember him coming out and was like, I can't. Like, that was the worst thing ever. And I'm like hugging my mom. Oh my God, I want to do it. Like, I can't dance. Like, I can't do this. So I ended up going in dancing. They didn't show it, thank God. And so that was Cole. I talked to Cole a lot. Literally, I still talk to him so much. We're still so close, and he's insanely talented, crazy talented. And then I met Tristan, who I became so close with throughout the show. Literally sweetest family. He's so crazy talented, and he's just so funny. Like if you met him, like he makes everyone laugh, and he definitely made me feel way more comfortable. We were really, really close throughout auditions, and we had like all our little friend group, and all of our friends were not getting tickets, and we were the last ones to go. And I just remember like we were sitting there like, yeah, we're done. Like this is it. Like that was really fun. That was a good week. Like I had a blast, and we're sitting there, and I ended up going to my 360 room, which is at a different location actually, and which is like the Zoom call with our parents. And that was awesome. I got to see my family, and then I ended up going in, and when I walked in the room, I just remember like nothing, like just blank, and like they look like dolls sitting there. And I think I like called them pretty. I was like, you guys are gorgeous. Like this is crazy. And they didn't show a lot of my auditions. So like I walked in, and Luke told me my eyes were pretty. And then they all howled at me because they said I looked like a wolf, and they were all like, "Oh!" Like Katy Perry's howling at me right now. This is crazy. And then I sang my song, and I got a golden ticket, and I left the room, and I was freaking out, and I hugged my mom. It was a whole thing, and it was funny. Before I went outside to like show my mom my ticket, Lionel was on the phone like outside the door, and I was like, holy crap, that's literally Lionel Richie. And he like looked over me and was like, you did so good. And I remember just crying. Like I was like, holy crap, this is like wild. And then I was taking like a psych test because they have you do so much after you do your audition. It's crazy, and it's like so tiring. And I take this psych test, and while I was taking it, I just hear like a screech, like the loudest scream. And I was like, oh my God. And it was Tristan because he just got his golden ticket, and I could hear him like 4 floors below me. And then we saw each other and we hugged. It was a whole thing. But that was probably one of the best days. Like I just feel like it's such a good feeling to feel like you did something, and because no one knows if you could, like, you know what, you just have to take the chance, and to know that you're good enough for this is just wild. So, I mean, that was one of the best weeks. It was the funnest ever.
I think they showed your singing, but not really a full story package or as much from the judges.
Yeah.
The thing I feel about that is that on the one hand, we don't get to meet you as much, but I feel like it's also more powerful in the sense that it just cuts right to the singing. The show comes back, there you are at the piano, and it just cuts right to the vocals. Like I find that to be a unique opportunity for people to really know you for your voice right away, you know, because there's so many amazing singers, like you said, everybody's incredible. But for people to remember you as the person they just like heard right away and to be blown away by your voice, I feel like that was something that people remembered, even though they didn't get that full 7-minute story.
Right. Yeah, I definitely with my audition, I just remember watching with my family and I think it like hit me like it was so random and I was like, "Holy crap, like that's me on TV right now."
Yeah.
And I think it was definitely like it was weird, just it's just crazy and I liked that it was just like quick and it ended up happening and I was like, just excited to get to the Hollywood Week stuff because I think that's what I was the most like proud of. So I mean, what an awesome, it was so cool to see myself in the audition room and it was nice and easy and there wasn't much of like the story aspect which I was so okay with. So I mean, yeah, it was awesome.
Now, I know that you talked about how the interviews were a little bit different and you had a lot of nerves and as I mentioned earlier, you are getting, past one round after the other, so there's also some confidence there. But when you enter Hollywood Week, I mean, there's three times the people. Now you see all this competition. I mean, you're not back to square one, but is there a sort of a new level of like, oh my gosh, what's happening here?
Yeah, I remember talking to my mom because I was like, oh, like we're gonna see all my friends, like all the people I met, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like there's like quadruple the amount of people, quadruple the amount of talent, but also quadruple the amount of kind, like just absolutely welcoming, kind people. And I literally have met some of my best friends and family through this experience. So I feel like getting there was definitely nerve wracking. I'm trying to think of what it was like getting there. We went, and I think I immediately saw my friend Brooke, who I also met in Nashville, and who else did I see? Tristan. And we like all hung out in like our little group, and they like packed us all in this like room, and everybody was so kind. Like they immediately go up to each other, immediately ask your name. Everyone's hugging each other, even if you have no idea who each other are. Also, mind you, we have no idea who the platinum tickets are because
Hmm.
this hasn't aired yet. So everyone's just kind of like I mean, we're all friends, but um, I think it definitely was really intimidating at first, but it's the most family environment I've ever been in, and I really hope that people know that when you go, there's nothing to be nervous about. It truly is the most warm-hearted group of people that you will ever meet. So I feel like that definitely made the nerves go away more.
Yeah. Going to school on set, that's when that began, right? Because when you're in Hollywood Week, they make sure that you're in California, you
Yeah,
got to do 3 hours a day. But I've also heard that that's where you get to get close with a lot of people, you really bond and have a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah. So we started school in Hollywood Week, and I think I was definitely dreading that because I expected it to be like get your work done. And I was like, this is horrible. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to have fun. I want to meet people. And I think it can be tough at times because you're not meeting the adults as much as they're meeting each other. You're meeting the minors, which I made the best friends, which actually, I mean, it makes sense because they're people my age. Um, but that's when me and Danielle met. I think it was the first day, and it was me, Danielle, Valerie, but Danielle was sitting right behind me, and someone was asking for my number because we like have all these group chats, and like that's like the way we met. Like her like telling me that someone wanted my number, and I was like, okay, like cool, like thanks. And then we immediately clicked. Me and Danielle still talk every single day. We're so close, and I'm really grateful that I had her in this experience because it was like we're such good friends, and I think that makes world of a difference when you're close with the people you're with. I think it's the best thing, and everyone is so close. So, I mean, school in Hollywood was different from school on set. I think because there were way more people and they had to be more strict. Um, there were like three teachers or so. I think there were like 35 minors when
Wow.
Hollywood Week started, which is wild. Um, and it's just it literally cut down so quick. It was insane. And once we were at the end of Hollywood Week, I think there were like 10 of us in the room. So it was
Wow.
pretty crazy.
Yeah. Now I know that there's, I mean, so much that we don't get to see on TV as far as, it's practically a montage. You talk about like two-hour episodes plus like the Showstopper episodes. So you're probably there for like at least a week and a half filming
I
and
think it was 10 days.
wow, yeah. When did you start the mentoring with like I'm guessing were you in Popline, Jordan Sparks?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Jordan Sparks.
Hmm.
I think it was this I think it was actually like the second day because we got there the first day, and I think we actually had school the first day we got there because they wanted to get our hours banked. And then I think the first day they started doing the mentoring, and I just remember like there were like so many whispers, and they were like, "Dude, there's like people from other seasons," and I was like, "What? Like, no, like it's like I just didn't know what to expect. I really didn't." And she like came out literally sweetest ever. We all took pictures with her. She was so kind, and it was nice talking to her because she was so young when she was on the show. So I feel like it kind of like helped me a lot. And that was also another way we all kind of like started talking more because they had us all sit and everyone was kind of forced to talk to each other. So yeah, I mean, mentoring was really awesome. She was so kind and
Mm-hmm.
nice to talk to.
Any particular advice you remember? I don't know if they actually got to have you one on one with her or not, but
I didn't have a one-on-one with her, but I think in a group she said something about because we were talking about age and there were some minor. I was sitting next to Paige Fish too, and she said to both of us about how like it has nothing to do with your age. You just have
mm-hmm.
to be yourself and just show what you have to give, and it's the best. I mean, it's true because
Yeah.
there's really nothing you can do. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Going into genre challenge, I mean, that's like this is it. I mean, talk about so many people. It takes place over 2 days, and there's just so many performances to get through. I don't know at what point you perform, but do you remember any standouts from sitting in the audience for you?
Um, Nicolina was definitely, I think that was the one that we all were kind of like, holy crap. Cause I don't think I talked to her in Hollywood Week because
Mm-hmm.
I was a minor. So I was kind of just doing my own thing.
Right.
Um, but I just remember sitting in the crowd because the minors actually didn't really get to watch a ton of the performances, which sucks because we had to do school. If you were not doing something, you were in school,
Right.
which, but I remember watching Nicolina's and we were all just like silent. Everyone was
Mm-hmm.
like, holy crap. I mean, she's just wild and I love her so much. We're so close still. So definitely Nicolina's she's so good.
Well, if you had to see one performance, it's a pretty good one to watch. I mean,
Oh,
lucky.
yes, for sure.
And the
For sure.
acoustics in that room, I've heard many contestants talk about experiencing the live music. It's like you're at a free concert in there.
So different from on TV, for sure. It's the best thing. I mean, everyone's so good, so I have
Mm-hmm.
nothing bad about sitting in that room. So
Yeah. I imagine one thing that might be a little less nerve wracking for the minors is that you guys all got to go first before everybody else. So instead of having to kind of sit and watch everybody over the 2 days, it's like, all right, let's get this over with. I mean, you got to do school, of course, but you get it out of the way.
yeah. So my line, there were I think like 8 of us, and I think I was like number 5. And I just remember watching everyone's. I was the first line out of anybody, so I was the first line of the whole day, the whole Hollywood week. And I think I remember Morgan Grouper went before me. She's insane, absolutely, like truly one of the most talented people I know. Everyone is, to be honest, but she's so good. And she went right before me, and I remember I was like, oh my god, like this is not gonna end well for me. Like this is everyone's so freaking good. And she's amazing. And I remember she got off and I mean, it's the most like insane experience getting on that stage. And she got interviewed and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. This is actually happening. And then Paige Fish went, and when she got off stage, she was crying. And I was like, why is she crying? Like, this is crazy. Like, and she like hugged me and I was like, oh, like it's okay. And then I got on and I sang, and they it was the crowd was insane. Like everyone was just screaming and I was like, what is going on? Like everyone's being so nice to me, like this is weird. And I like got off stage and just bawled, like literally bawled my eyes out as soon as I got off stage. And they were interviewing me and I was like, this is just really cool. Like I don't know what else to say other than this is literally the coolest thing I've ever done. And I got off stage and I hugged Paige and I was like, okay, like I get it now. Like I get it. Like I mean, they showed me crying before I went
Yeah.
on stage, but it was after. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was after. And after I got off stage, Lady K, I hadn't met her yet. And she came up to me and was like, hey, like I took a video. And I was like, what? And she was like, oh, I took a video of that. Like, she got out her phone and was like, no, I need a video of this. And she had no idea who I was. It was such like a kind thing to do. And I was like, oh. And so that's how I met Lady K. But I have a video of it, of the crowd. I mean, it was just one of the most magical experiences, I think, of my time on Idol, just because it was the first time I've ever been in a situation like that, and being around such talented people. I was just such a grateful, it was just such a moment, and I'm very lucky that I had experienced that.
Lady K, we're gonna talk about your performance, not to take away from anything, but Lady K, such a star in my opinion. I loved
I
watching
love
her
her.
every week. Oh my god. Oh
Yeah,
my
we were
god.
really close. Her and my mom were really close too. Literally sweetest girl ever, and she like protected me on so many levels all the time, and I felt so loved by
Mm,
her. So I mean, just, and she's insane,
yeah.
absolutely insane.
And then Paige Fish, we have an interview coming out with her a few days after this one drops. She played
Really?
me a new song of hers coming out called 24/7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had no words. I had no words.
No, she's
Insane.
amazing.
And
She's
then
amazing.
to think of all these people that didn't get aired just boggles me.
Dude, I fully thought she would. I remember we were sitting there. I'm so close. I'm visiting Paige and Kennedy in a couple, I think in September. She like would sing for me, and I was like, what is going on? This girl, and she's 15 years old. She's 16 now. But I mean, it was wild. And I was like, and she got filmed so much. Like I genuinely thought she was getting aired. Like I really, really did. But I really don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, just since we're talking here about that, I mean, are there any other, just like when you think, like, just what comes to your mind, any unaired contestants for you that you know didn't get aired that where you were just like, how did this happen? How did they not cut
What's
through?
his name?
Yeah,
There's Corey Curtis. I was really close to him. He's so talented. Did they air any of his stuff? I don't think they did.
not Corey.
Oh, he's so good. Oh my god, there's so many people. I have to like go through the list. Like it like overwhelms my mind
Oh my
because
God.
genuinely every single person was so freaking good.
Yeah.
I mean, Douglas should have been aired way more.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think of minors. Ishan, I was really close with him. You saw nothing of him, and he was so
Mm. And now I'm curious. I want to know the person you said you're listening to their music, and now
Hang
like,
on, this is annoying because like I fully like am obsessed.
mm.
He has like long red hair.
Wait, not Elliot Greer. Is
Yeah.
yes, Elliot
That,
Greer?
wait, no.
No, no.
Hang on. Hang on.
We could
You
say it.
interviewed him? Yeah, him.
Elliot.
Yes.
He's the reason I started this podcast.
Are you serious?
Leah was talking about him on a live, and I checked him. I was like, "Who is this dude?" I'm like, "He's so freaking good." So I'm like, I should just start a podcast, talking to unaired people. That's why we're sitting here right now. He is incredible.
Absolutely wild, wildly talented, and everyone genuinely. I remember when we were in like Hollywood Week, everyone was like, "He's winning, like he's gonna win the show," and we were all like, "Are you joking? Like this is
Right.
insane. It's wild. He's so good." Yeah,
Yeah.
I listen to him all the time.
No, I mean that his duet. Oh my God, it's insane.
My mom was like watching from the top. She got to watch everybody. So honestly,
Mhm.
you need to get her on here and she'll just tell you her favorites. She saw that duet and she like said something to me about it. Like she saw all of them, but she like we were going to bed one night and she was like, "Oh, by the way, like I saw this duet saying it was out." She was crying. I think she videoed it. Like
Mhm.
wild.
Well, anyway, so I know we got so all over the place, but back to your performance of Genre Challenge. Remind me of the song you sang.
I sang "Love in the Dark" by Adele.
I remember it being a standout, just like your audition, because like I mean, your voice just it does cut through because just that presence. Like I mean, there's a lot of people that sit at the piano. There's a lot of people that have their own unique thing going on, but there was just something so captivating. And I think that, like you said, to have everybody just cheering for you, and then you're walking off stage and the tears flowing down. You can't always explain it, but just the ability to connect with an audience is something that you figured out so early on in the competition.
Thank
I think that's why you were an early favorite, is because for whatever reason, it's that presence on stage.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that was definitely like that was the moment I think I felt like fully like clicked, like this is what I want. Because I think in the beginning I definitely was like, this is too much for me. Like this is wild. Like because it is such an out of body, like no one how many people at 16 years old are doing this? Not many. So I think it definitely was a little hard for me in the beginning, but I think that was when I was like, this is what I want. I think I literally have a text between me and my mom that day, and I literally sent a picture of me and Paige bawling my eyes out, like crying
Wow.
so hard. And I was just like, Mom, like, this is it. Like, I feel so good, and like the adrenaline is wild. I mean, everyone was just so kind to me, and it just, I've never felt anything like that. It was crazy.
It's so important to take in those positive moments. You know, you walked into this thing not knowing what the heck to expect, and
Right.
it's important to recognize that what you're doing here is resonating with people. You are a contender, and you deserve every minute of it. So it's just so
Thank you.
important, I think, and to share that, to have that with your mom, and then for all the people back home. I mean, that's special to be able to join in that with the people in your life.
So many people. Yeah. I'm very, very grateful that I got to experience this.
Your duet was not aired. I talked to Carly McKell the other day, and Never Enough, right? Greatest Showman.
Yeah. Is she going to be on this? Is
She
she
actually
doing
just came
anything?
out on July 10th. Her episode's out. Carly McKell, if you guys want to check that out.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, I need to watch that.
heck yeah.
Oh my God. What? Let's see. That was, oh my God. That should have been aired. That should have been aired. I was so proud of that. We got a standing ovation. And I mean, we just clicked really fast. We have very similar personalities, I think. And
Uh-huh.
when we got called up, I remember they had us like sit in this like room, and did they show any of that of us like getting duet partners?
It was like a little glimpse, and I'm thinking, are the judges actually naming every single partner? Apparently they did. I mean, right?
They did.
Yeah.
And they called me up to like get my little card, and she was on the back. And it was like kind of awkward at first because like we don't know each other yet, and so like we're like hug, we're like okay, like we're doing our partners, and the judges like said to us, they were like, you got this, like, you're gonna kill it. I was like, oh, thanks, Lionel Richie, like thanks. And we end up going on the bus, and we like go back, and it's very real. Like I don't know if anyone like, I think in my mind I was like, there's no way this is in one night, like it's in one night, and it's horrible. It's very
Yeah.
tiring, and you don't eat, and you're like stressed, and you're crying, and you're taking a bath to like help yourself calm down. It's not easy. And Carly and I think we're like sitting in a bathroom, like I'm like plugging my ears, like trying not to hear anyone else, because when they show that there's like 15 people in one room trying to sing songs, it's very real, and it's
Hmm.
horrible. Like it's very not healthy. My mom was downstairs, and because I'm a minor, you probably have heard this. We can't be on camera to a certain
Past
past a
10,
certain
right?
time. Yeah, I think it's like 10 or
Uh-huh.
like something. And they were like, minors, like you have to get out. Like we're not allowed to be near the cameras, which is kind of annoying because like I think that's another reason why my duet didn't get aired. There was like no footage of us at all. So that's why I kind of thought, I was like, I'm probably going home just because they didn't get anything of me.
Hmm.
And so then I ended up going downstairs, and there was like a giant room that had no cameras, and there were a lot of people that just went down there to go. And that's when I met like Jay and like Kennedy and Hunter. Um, and we went down, and me and Carly were just flipping out. We had no idea what song to do. And Carly just kept being like, let's do Never Enough. And I was like, I don't know. Like, that's like a really hard song. And like, I don't know if my voice can handle that, to be honest. And we ended up doing it, and we had so many different arrangements of it. And I think the day of, I was like, oh, I don't like what the arrangement is. Like, how about we like try this? And we ended up doing it, and it was so like, we just blended so well. And I think I had no nerves on stage. I think just being with someone else that you've been doing this with, like you got this, you know. We got a standing ovation, and they gave us a crap ton of amazing comments back. I mean, that was a really good moment. I was crying again, and I was like, because Katie, I mean, they like the stuff they were saying was just like so like insanely kind, and I don't know, I just had never heard like stuff like that from people that I admire in the music realm. So I think it definitely was just such a moment. My mom has a video, and you can hear her bawling in the background. It's like in the background. And then we ended up going out, and we made it, and
Yeah.
it was really awesome. So Yeah.
Carly I think posted a video on her Instagram of the duet, so I caught like a little sort of not official clip of the performance. I mean, gosh, like the to take on a vocal song like that, I mean, it was really a great moment for you to shine. I mean, obviously in the previous performances you had shown the judges what you can do, but this really I feel like took you to new heights, and then their comments proved that. And their comments, I have to say, as a fan of American Idol, really feel genuine. They really seem invested in you guys, and that's what I like about this show is that the judges just they seem like they're there for more than just a paycheck.
Yeah, there's more of a personal um bond between all of
Yeah,
us and the judges, I think. And even like meeting, like being around them all the time on set and stuff, it's like very, like you can tell they each care
right.
about each of us, which is really, really nice.
Going into Showstoppers, full audience in the room. How are you feeling about that?
I was excited. Like I really hadn't experienced anything like that before. So I was like, I mean, this is it, like whatever. And there were, I think, more people than they've ever had in Showstopper Round in a
Mm-hmm.
very long time because they couldn't cut any more people. Like they were
Yeah,
having a really, really hard time cutting people, I heard, because everybody was insane. When I say it, I mean it. Everyone was absolutely wildly talented. It's not even okay. And I think, I mean, I was just really excited. Jordan Blue went right before me. Ooh, he went after me, and we were like standing backstage. I'm like shaking. He's like, "You're good, you're good. Like you got this." I was like, "I don't got this. This is scary." And I ended up going out, and when I walked out, they didn't show this, but when I walked out, like the judges, I was like standing there, and I was just like, "Hi," like I like looked up at Lionel, and they like turned their mics on so they could talk to me, and Lionel was like, "Hey, like how are you?" I was like, "I'm good," and he was like, "You got this." And Katie was like, "No, like you got this." And I was like, "Guys, stop! Like this is too nice." And I sang my song. I don't know why I was making those faces in my performance. I don't know why. I was really nervous. And when I get nervous, I make super ugly faces when I sing. So that's the only thing I have that I felt bad about that performance. But I was proud of it. I mean, I love that song and I think the arrangement was cool. That was the first time we got to work with Chris Pooley, who was our musical director. And he's so good. Like it was just the band amazing. I became so close with all of them um, throughout the show. But that was just a really awesome moment. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was just really cool.
Did you enjoy, I mean, not just the band, but vocal coaching and all the work that you did with the music team behind the scenes?
Oh my gosh, I don't think it's talked about enough how fabulous the behind the scenes people are, and they work so hard with us. They take so much time out of their lives to help us feel comfortable on stage. I mean, I still talk to all my vocal coaches and all the backup singers, and um, I think I learned so much from everybody that I met. So yeah, it was awesome.
Did you think you were going to make top 24? Were you prepared to go through? Did you think we're going
No,
home? No?
no, I was going home tonight, like fully
Oh,
going
wow.
home. Nothing was I because I was because they were cutting from 46 people. No,
59.
yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be honest.
No.
59 people to 24 people is wild. That is a crap ton of people that need to go home. I'm a 16-year-old that has no idea what's going on any level. I just like open my mouth and sing and I'm done. And I'm just like there. I'm like, okay, like this is just gonna be good. And so they like brought us to a new place in Malibu. And it was beautiful, absolutely stunning. Interviews were good, like it was whatever. And I am sitting in the waiting room, and they actually called us up with our partners. Well, I had a partner, but like they like called us with like what order we were gonna go in, and that's when they did this like way before we ended up actually going in the room. And Ryan comes out and he like starts calling people, and that's when like people start having pairs, and we were all like, "Oh my god, like you're going in with two people." And me and Riley are sitting there, and he goes, Emyrson and Riley. And we just look at each other. I just remember being like, "What? Like this is weird," because it's a country singer and a pop
Yeah.
singer. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like this is scary. And they did tell us that they were gonna have like sing offs, and I was like, "There's no way that they're gonna have a sing off with this different of a genre." situation, but like I was like prepared to. We were like sitting there, and I just remember us both being there. I was like, God, like, there's no way I'm making it. Like Riley is so insanely talented. She would like sing to herself all the time, and everyone was like, how are you doing that? Like, she's wild. And while we were all sitting there, the people that were coming out and not making it, it was insane. And we're crying. Everyone is just like heartbroken. Paige came out with Morgan, and I just remember me like bawling just because I was like, there's no, like, why is this happening? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I think it kind of made me feel a little bad because I was like, well, like, there's no way. Like I don't want to be the one taking this, you know, and then we have to go back and see them. It was just hard.
Right.
So, I ended up going in the room. I so disconnected from my actual body. I was like, literally, it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. We were like holding hands and we walked in, and I remember like I sat down and Katie was like, what'd she say? She's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm a little overwhelmed. And when I said I was overwhelmed, she was like, you're overwhelmed? And I was like, no, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm good. And so I was like, no. Like, I'm good. Like, this is great. And I felt horrible when I said, I was like, God, I shouldn't have said that. And we ended up sitting there, and basically they like told us that I was going and she wasn't. And that was one of the most that was one of the hardest things I think through this experience, because I don't know what to do in that situation. I'm so young. Anyways, she's so young. We're both just like these like teenage girls that just like, we don't know what to do. It's because I don't know how to like be there for her, but not show that I have to show that I'm excited, or else the people are gonna crap on me and be like, she doesn't even act like she wants to be there. But I also can't be like screaming and like, oh my God, like while this girl is sitting here. I mean, and my friend, like we're very good friends too, which is it was just one of the hardest things. And we ended up going out, and I ended up having to say that I made it, and I felt so awkward saying that out loud because it felt like rude. Like, I just didn't even want to say it. And I was crying when I got out. And I wasn't even crying because I was like excited. I was crying because this is like just a crappy situation. And I remember everyone just like looked at me like because they thought we both didn't make it. And I like ended up saying it. Everyone was like, oh my gosh. And I just like, I hugged them. I was like, I can't do this. And I ended up, we ended up going and doing interviews, and I was so excited and happy and grateful. And I have no reason to not be, but it definitely is a super crappy situation going in with someone that did it and worked so hard for it. So, I mean, I think it was a little bit tough, but I was so excited. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's okay to feel like that, but then it's such a test of like, you're a human being. And I mean, Ava was talking about the same thing. Ava, maybe, I mean, it's like, this is your life, this is your career, and you just got one of the most exciting pieces of news you'll ever receive. But then for this person, it's the complete opposite. So it really is. I mean, it's brutal, but you know, I guess at the end of the day, it's a competition, and I think the support that you guys all had for each other, you know, the fact that the contestants who got sent home wanted you guys to be happy, who did make it.
So supportive, and it was wild. Like, I didn't know what to expect, because I was like, I don't know how these people are going to handle this, because we don't know, like, we know each other so well, but we only know each other for a week. So I didn't know what to do in these situations. And I've never been put in a situation like this to where I would understand what to do. So you had to just, they were all so happy for us and so supportive. And I couldn't have asked for a better situation with the circumstances I was put in. So.
Right. Now, getting past that whole emotional roller coaster, you get to go on the Yes Bus because you're in the top 24. And then if I'm correct,
that was also rude, the whole bus situation. We had to walk past the No Bus to go into we were like, hey, like, this is horrible. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No, let's take a moment to recognize that. It was kind of like, Carly even talked about that. It's like, how are you supposed to feel? I don't know.
Horrible situation. This is where my anxiety started kicking up, though, because we were in the bus, and it was literally just me and Tristan had gone, and we were the youngest. I was like, oh my God, like, these are all like 27-year-olds. I don't know really anybody. I was kind of just like, this is like nerve-wracking. Like I was like stressed. And then Danielle made it and Kennedy made it, and I just felt so much better because people like girls my age actually were there with me, so it made me feel
Hmm.
better. But definitely like sitting on that bus was just, I mean, it was just like, holy crap, I just made top 24 on American Idol. It's wild. It's wild.
Right.
And let me tell you, did not have our phones at all. No one had a phone. They were in like buckets. And my mom didn't even have a phone. And they were going to do a 360 room with me for my family to like tell them that I made it. And they ended up canceling it because they canceled a bunch of people's because like something with like timing. And they still didn't give me my mom's phone back. And it was like 5 hours after I was supposed to have found out. And my parents are like having heart attacks at home. And my dad told me, he's like, we really didn't think you made it just because my mom didn't text me. You're like, okay, maybe like it's just really hard
Yeah.
for them right now. Like they're
Right.
not texting us. And my mom ended up stealing her phone from the bucket, running to the bathroom, shutting the door, locking it, calling my dad, was just like, she made it, and like hung up and like threw it back in the bucket. And my dad said like my family was like
Oh
screaming.
my
It was the whole thing.
God.
But that was like the only contact I had with my family.
Wow.
Yeah.
As far as like, again, you're in this bubble from what I mean, at this point, you're filming all this time and the show isn't even going to be airing for almost 3 more months. So, like, I think it's practically a 2 month gap between filming Green Mile and Hawaii. It's like mid-February, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. When we found out we were going to Hawaii, they like lined us up in a big line and they were like, we have a surprise for you. And we were like, okay. And they like brought us in this like big thing, and all the judges were right there, and they had told us we were going to Hawaii, and we were all freaking out, obviously. And the judges were like, that was the first time we were like up and close with the judges. Well, Green Mile we were, but like it wasn't the same because it was like
Yeah.
scary and like weird. But like when we were like there, they were like hugging us, and like Luke Bryan was like Merry Christmas, like all this stuff, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like this is crazy. That was the first time I think we like really like got to talk to the judges like
Uh-huh.
personally. So that was a really cool moment.
But then to have to wait almost 2 months. I mean, I'm
Oh
guessing
my
is it
gosh,
is
that
it
was brutal,
you just
brutal.
go back to
Yeah,
normal life all that time?
and you can't tell anyone
Right.
anything, so you're literally like, you don't know, but I'm actually top 24 on American Idol,
Right.
like doing my math homework, and everyone's talking to me like everything's good. I'm like, you don't even know. Like, I'm cool. I feel cool right now. I mean, at school, it wasn't like nothing had changed because it hadn't been out there yet.
Right.
So I just had to go back to school and act like everything was good while I was just in LA with Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan, and singing all these songs and making it to top 24. And it was just so many things that I was proud of and that I wanted to tell people about, but I couldn't. So it was very
Yeah.
hard, and it was for a very long time too. So
Yeah. I remember watching top 24 episodes in Hawaii, sitting with my mom on the couch, and my mom being like, she could win. Like, she's watching you, and she's like, she could win.
stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's really nice.
I feel like you really popped with that performance. I feel like it was just a moment. And I think that for all you guys, I mean, I know it's not live yet and you've had an audience before, but just getting to really showcase what you have to offer and being in that like new and unique environment and having the crowd outside at the beach, I just feel like I think honestly, I think that it really went well for so many of you guys.
I really think everyone killed Hawaii. And
Yeah.
I think I actually struggled a lot that week with my rehearsals were horrible.
Mm,
Absolutely horrible. It was our first time with our in-ears. I was just having a really hard time, I think confidence wise. I didn't know about my song, even though my song ended up being like the best choice I could have made in this competition. I really didn't know. It was my first time really with the band and getting to rehearse with the band. And so my rehearsal, I think what I do is I sometimes like critique myself too much, and then I end up messing myself up because I'm thinking too much. So I think I just like I was having a really hard time, and I really didn't think I was gonna make it any further than Hawaii since I had made it that far. And so um, that was definitely a really hard, like that week. It was the funnest week ever, like literally the best week ever because it's literally vacation with all your best friends. But I think I had a really hard time with my song and like whether or not I liked it or the arrangement of it. And I had a hard time speaking up because I didn't know I was able to speak up and be like, this is what I want different about this guitar, or, because I felt smaller than everyone else because I was so young and I don't, I mean, I kind of
yeah.
am. So like I think I had to, and people, my vocal coaches had to just be like, I'm like, you can let them know that this is what you want, and this is what you want to change, and this is what you want to tweak, and this is how you want to move on the stage, and not be told what to do. You know what I mean? So I think when I started speaking up is when it kind of like really helped me. And I met Jimmy Allen, which was the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the kindest man. Um, and I ended up rehearsing. I think they showed a little bit in my rehearsal, one of them, and he was just so supportive. And he was just like, have a moment and just like feel what you're saying. And I ended up getting on stage and doing that, and it was like, truly one of the most amazing moments.
I loved watching Jimmy Allen with you guys. I thought he killed as a mentor. Like, good enough
So
to be there
good.
the whole season. Like Bobby Bones, next Bobby Bones. I mean, I know he
I
was on the
know.
show
No, he
before. Yeah.
killed it. Absolutely killed it. And I think I was so like so nervous doing my tour because I hadn't really like gotten to talk to anyone like that. And it was crazy. And I think I was like the second. I was right after Jay. Jay was first and I was second. And Jay is so good at like having a conversation because Jay is the funniest person I've ever met in my life. I really love him to death. But he's so good at having conversation and like they connected really well. And I was like, oh my God, like this is so awkward. Like I don't want to do it. And I ended up going and he just made me feel so comfortable and the producers were making me feel so comfortable. And I sang my song and he was so supportive about it and showed me so much kindness. And no, he's just so nice. And he DM'd me right after I got eliminated and was like, you are amazing. If you ever need anything, please reach out. And it just like stuff like that. It's like he has no reason to do that, but he's just so
Right.
kind.
Yeah. Well, he's been there. He was a contestant, which is hard to believe because I don't think, I mean, I watched that season, season 10, and I don't remember ever seeing him. He just didn't make it far. And then 10 years later,
Yeah,
just became this huge country artist.
I know. It's crazy. It's
I mean,
crazy.
if someone who didn't even get aired can do that, I mean, just look at what's what can be next for
I
you and
know.
all the other contestants that did get aired. I mean, I think
I
that
know.
that's what's exciting.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
And if I remember the results episode where you guys are back at the studio in Hollywood, they named you first for top 20. Yeah.
Yeah. And my whole family was there. My whole family flew out to come watch and they called me first. And they had to sit there for like 4 hours
Hmm.
and it was a very long show. But that was a really awesome day too.
I
So cool.
remember I was like, when you DVR something and it starts like 2 minutes early, so you have to forward it, but then you forward too much. And so
Yeah.
it was like I forwarded it and it was like 8:02 and it's like Emerson's on screen. So I'm like, all right, I know the results now. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was cool. I mean, did you? I mean, what was it like when you got to the set? Because this is like American Idol's home base, and you've made it this far. Was that cool?
Right. Um, I think so. We were there for 2 weeks actually
Right.
before we ended up actually on live show, which was awesome because I got to just spend so much more time with everyone. So I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. Um, and um, also at this point, everyone at school is aware of everything that's been happening, which was just so weird being in high school and this whole thing. It's wild. So I think being away from home was actually kind of nice because I got to just take a moment away and like experience this on my own without anyone else. So we were there 2 weeks early and we got to set. We each had our own trailers. Amazing. Me and Danielle shared a trailer and it was so fun. Like it
Yeah.
was just like you're always with your best friends and um we had so much rehearsal and I mean you're just doing what you love with people you love and I really have no complaints. It was amazing. And then I think a week and a half into our way to like live show, we had like I think it was like a Wednesday. They finally showed us the set and they've been building it. And I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you're truly picking yourself up and putting yourself in TV.
Yeah.
And I will say it is way smaller in person,
Yes.
like way smaller in person, but it's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
That's what I've heard. Nicolina said that. It's like, I mean, and I've heard a lot of people say that anything that you see on television, any set, you walk there and it's like, wait, this is not
This
what.
is it. That's
Yeah.
literally what you do. You're like, oh. I mean, that's what TV
Yeah.
magic, I guess.
Yeah. I took a trip to LA in December actually, and literally, top of my list, I was like, Mom, Dad, let's just drive past CBS Television City because I'm super fan here. I've yet to see a taping of American Idol, but I just wanted to see the lot.
You have to. You have to. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I was doing an interview with a guy who works on the show, and he like in the middle of the interview was like, "I'll give you tickets," and I was like my jaw, like I was like in total
Are you
fan mode. Yeah,
serious?
it was so
Oh
cool.
my God, wait, that's cool. You
I
have to
know.
go. You
Yeah,
have to go.
yeah.
It's so fun.
Um, and like I saw like the I don't know if you ever watch American Horror Story, but I saw the mansion from
Yeah.
Murder House, and it was so wild to see that in person. It did also look smaller. I was like, this is not how I. This doesn't look
See?
anything like
You
it.
imagine you go there and you're like, holy crap, like,
Yeah,
this is crazy. But you're kind of just like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like
yeah,
it's like just weird. Like
right.
how different everything is in real life.
So,
Yeah.
just being in LA in general, I mean, do you enjoy that? What was it like? I mean, I'm sure an
So
adjustment.
fun.
Yeah,
So fun. I mean, it's so different from I'm from Ohio, so it's just kind of like Ohio, like
yeah,
cool. Like truly the only thing we have to do here is ices, like literally that's all. Like
yeah,
go get an icy with your friend.
yeah.
That's about it. So basically, like it's so different. There's something to do every single day. Danielle lived there, which was freaking amazing because we like she knew all the spots to go eat, and like her house was down the street, so we'd like go hang out at her house with her family and all of her friends. And um, I think it was just a lot of fun. I love cities, and I like being in busy areas, and I like having something to do all the time because it takes my mind off of everything else. So I think being there was just it's sunny all the time, it's so nice all the time, so I was happy, like truly it's so beautiful, and I would love to live there someday.
I know that they gave you guys this like party after the top 20, like the first live show. Was it when you went from 20 to
Yes.
14? That must have been pretty cool. It was like a Hollywood party, right? On
Yeah.
like a rooftop
Oh
or
my gosh, it was
something.
amazing. We went to this like club place, and they had like all of this that it was right after we made top 14, and it was hard. It was definitely like a tough situation because they had the top 20 also come, and people had just gotten eliminated. And I think in the bands it was just a tough situation because we had to just like sit there and just kind of like you could be excited, but it's kind of like the situation with the Green Mile. Like you have to be excited for yourself, but also like these are family now. Like
Right.
these are people we've been with for months and grown with and cried with, and so it's hard. And I was sitting next to Cameron, and he's just like we're just
Oh my
like
God.
cuddling in the back of the
Yeah.
car. He's like crying. I mean, literally love Cameron to death. Literally like family, and I mean it's just tough, but he flipped it, and we went to the party, and everyone had so much fun, and we just took those moments and just made memories and didn't
Hmm.
waste, you know what I mean? We just spent the time having fun and being together. So I think that was the best. And yeah, so that party was amazing. The judges were there and like literally walking around with us. It was weird.
Oh
I
my
was like, what are you
gosh.
doing?
Well,
Like, what
like
is
this is the
happening?
lifestyle, you know? Like you become a pop star, this is what you get to
It's
do.
it's crazy. It's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did press, that was our first press line that we had ever done. And I mean I was really nervous, but the people that do the press so kind, and they know their boundaries and what they can ask and what they can't. I mean, it was just very like it felt very very comfortable, and they were all very supportive of the fact that I was 16 and
Right.
making sure that they made me feel comfortable. So I mean it was a really really cool party, and we had so much fun.
Uh-huh. It is wild though to think of, practically a quarter or more of you guys are like, I'm not coming back to the show, but I guess I get to celebrate that I was here, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, that's
it's
one
an
way to look at
awkward
it.
thing. It's
Yeah.
very awkward. I know. It was tough. And we were all very sad actually. Um I mean it's hard leaving this environment. It really is.
So, you made it a couple more rounds. Obviously, you made top 10. When you think about the time that you spent on the set and the rounds that you made it, what kind of memories stick out to you? I know that you had different mentors and, you're working with the music team. What comes to mind?
I mean, I have so many like there's just so many moments that like in the moment it's just like normal, but it's like when I look back, it's like those are the things that I miss. Like miss being around all those people all the time. Like that's just a little a thing that's like that's the situation we're in, but it's just like that was became our normal for a very
Right.
long time, and then you come home and you're like, oh, like this isn't normal, like we're in a
Hmm.
bubble. And what else? I mean, the music team is incredible. Vocal coaching was amazing, just being so supportive. Every one of them, people that weren't even my vocal coaches, would come and hug me and be like, I'm so proud of you, even though I really didn't know anybody, but everyone was just so loving and kind. What else? I did do mentoring with Gabby Barrett for one of mine, which was really awesome because I just remember watching her and thinking she was so beyond incredible. And she was so kind to me. And I remember before I went to do my mentoring, one of the producers came up to me and was like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, like, she told us she's a huge fan of yours. And I was
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
I just remember I like looked at him like, wait, what? And he was like,
Right.
no, like you're like the first person she brought up. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, she was like, no, like the 16-year-old, like I need to meet her. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is my life? Like, this is weird. Yeah. So I think meeting her was just like we clicked really quick. I think, yeah. So that was definitely a moment that I was like, holy crap. Like, people know who I am. Like, this is weird. It's crazy.
You and Gabby performed together, right, in the finale?
We did.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy experience. I got a call from a producer and she was like, hey, like, you're going to be singing with Gabby for your finale. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, like, she really wants to sing with you. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's crazy. And it was such a cool experience.
I was, as a viewer, so impressed with Gabby's mentoring. I thought she was so helpful and honest. I mean, again, any of these shows you watch, you wonder, but like, between Gabby and Jimmy and really everybody they brought in, like, the time that she took to really be constructive
Right.
was just impressive. And you never know because, she's a contestant herself, and you think, well, what do different artists who already have these careers built, what are they going to bring to the table? And what she brought, in my opinion, was a genuine desire to help you guys.
No, you're so right. I mean, it was, she, she was not like she wasn't just like that was good, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
she had like real critiques, and she took the time to like truly show you what you were doing, what she thought you could do better. So I mean, I appreciated every moment I had to talk to her. And I mean, it was really awesome, and I'm really lucky that I got that chance.
Speaking of finale night, I mean, I heard that was like almost busier than any competition episode you would film because now everybody's coming back and there's so much going on. So, what was your experience like to come back for that?
Finale was crazy. I remember, so I had a couple performances that like were like crazy because like live shows very like if you're not on it's full all the time, it's just not gonna work. So like there was a point where I had like my green like suit thing and my pants kept wrinkling and they were like freaking out about my pants. So I'm not joking. 2 minutes before I got on stage, they made me take my clothes off so that they could steam my clothes, and then maybe put my clothes on and I had to go sing. And it was like 2 seconds. Like,
Wow.
I mean, that's how it is. Like, it's very like all the time. So finale was just crazy because we each had like 15 outfits.
Hmm.
So that week consisted of like every single day was basically a performance. My Gabby performance was actually pre-recorded because she had like a commitment the weekend of finale. So I actually had to come in a day earlier than everyone else for my like for the top 10 thing. So I ended up recording mine the night of the last of the top 5 night. So I had been there like longer than everyone else, and that was really hard because I had to I was literally home for like a week when I got
Right.
cut, and I ended up going there. I had to do all my makeup, all my hair, and I went right after I literally watched them cut down to 3, and I had to get on stage. It was like
Wow.
all the people, and no one knew I was there. So the whole crowd had no idea that I was there or Gabby was there. And so they ended up being like, okay, guys, like, there's like one more performance. And everyone was like, okay, like it's cool. And I like came out of the wall and the
Yeah.
judges were like, wait, what? It was a whole thing.
The
Like they
judges
made a
didn't even
huge
nobody
deal
knew.
of
They
it.
didn't the warm up didn't tell.
Literally
Oh.
had no one had any idea, I guess. And I was like, oh hi guys, like I'm back.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's such a feeling like being with these people that are like so supportive of me and like me getting off stage and people like screaming my name and like just like giving me so much love and encouragement after all of this. I mean, it was really fun like going there and I had nothing to be nervous about. It was just go up, sing and have fun because
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
nothing to lose here. So Gabby was so supportive. It was such a fun performance to do. So that was pre-recorded and then the Lionel one was pre-recorded the day before. Obviously the Flora one was pre-recorded. It was like on a roof.
Right.
Which was so fun. It
Yeah.
was so fun though. And then
Ty Burtis?
that was live.
Uh-huh.
That was my live performance. So I think I had three. Was I in anything else? That Flo, Lionel, and Gabby. No. So the Flow Rider was the only. I mean, the Ty Verdes was the only one that was live
Right. And
for
then
me.
but then the
So mine
winning
was.
moment where you get to right you all get to be on stage with Noah as he's
Oh,
winning.
that
That must
was
have
so
been amazing.
special. So special. So special. I have like pieces of the
Hmm.
stuff that falls from the ceiling. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicolina had it in her phone case. I was like, wow, that's a real like piece of
Yeah,
yeah.
I watched her put it in there. I think my mom has it somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because you're on a journey with these people, and in addition to the competitive journey that you're on for yourself, to get to watch these other people grow. And I mean, I love talking about Noah on this podcast just because I feel like his story of Arthur signing him up for the show and Noah coming in just like, what am I doing here? But to have that raw voice, like he was like, I think the first person who even aired this season, and then he walked away with the title, like and just seemed like the most genuine guy. Not to mention that week he had COVID. He just killed it from his hotel room. Like this guy could do anything, sing anything, and he won.
He's the realest person you'll meet. Truly the realest person you'll meet. And I'm so proud of him and he deserves this so much. And I think that's why we were all just like every person in top 24 or anybody really that I have met, they deserve this and they deserve everything that they got out of this. And I really like have nothing bad to say about anybody because I don't know. Everybody has just been so kind, and everyone is so talented. It's ridiculous, and I think Noah deserves this. He's so good, and he's so genuine. Like nothing about him. He's always himself and fully real, and I think that's what did it.
Hmm. Is there any one thing that you miss the most about being on that show?
Um, I think like the life that's just like constantly going. Like
Uh
I
huh.
love that. Like I like being busy, and I like
Yeah.
doing things all the time. And so being with the like there's nothing not fun about this thing. Like there was never moments where I was like, I want to go home. Like
Right.
it's so fun. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it's so fun. It's like vacation, not make I mean you work your butt off, but it's kind of like you're with your best friends all the time and you're
Right.
doing something you love. So I really there's no complaints when you're there. And
Yeah.
so I think just the life, the moving, the
Uh huh.
fast moving life is really fun.
And I've heard so much about the crew being really fun and all the different PAs you meet and Patrick, Megan. I'm sure all these names come
Yes.
up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I literally love everybody. And I talk to the PAs still all the time. Me and Patrick got so close. I literally have a picture at the finale party of me and Patrick hugging. We were saying bye. Literally saddest moment of my life.
Aw.
Patrick is like my dad. Like I literally love him so much. Here, wait. Look how cute this is. That's me and Patrick.
Aw. Oh my God. He's the OG. He watched Kelly Clarkson win
He's a
season one.
huge deal. Literally such a big deal. And like he's just so kind and so loving. And that's me. Me, Jay, Lady K and Patrick.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was definitely just like that was hard. It's hard leaving all those people because I loved everybody so much.
Yeah, but it's like a family now that you're a part of, and whether it's the crew that you can come back and see or contestants that you go visit. I mean, it's something that stays with you, even though you only
Oh
were on the show for one season. Like these are people for life.
no, I'm so lucky to have met these people. And every on every single step of this journey, like Me and Paige, we talk all the time, all the time. And I haven't seen her since December. Like, yeah, it's never ending because we experienced this together. And I think that it's some way to joke about it being like shared trauma. And it's
Yeah.
true because we experienced some of the most nerve wracking moments of our lives too. And I think that's definitely, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing. And I'm so lucky that I've gotten to experience it, especially at 16 years old and when I'm in high school and when I'm growing, because I've tried so hard during this whole thing to just inhale every single thing everybody has ever said to me just
Hmm.
so that I've grown so much. It's
Yeah.
insane. And so I think that's the most important thing is learning from all these people as well.
What's it like to have fans, to have people like with fan accounts and knowing that they're watching you and commenting on the videos of not just your performances, but gaining the followers and watching your videos and
Yeah.
things like that?
It's weird. I mean, it's amazing. Like I've dreamed of this forever, obviously, but I think it's definitely like it can be a little hard, especially because I'm in high school and now I'm back home and I'm kind of like in that mindset of like a teenage high school student again because like I'm not in the American Idol realm anymore. Um, I think now I have this like pressure a little bit that I have to be posting a ton and I'm not on that high school teenage girl schedule of like I'll post when I want to. Like when I take a good picture. You know what I mean? Now I have to like really keep up for these people that have supported me so much, and I literally could not be more grateful and I try and text people back as much as I can. The amount of DMs I have is insane, and I genuinely can't get to all of them. Like I can't because it blows my mind. The other day I was like reading through and I was answering ones from like a very long time ago, and people were like, "Okay, like we're over it now." Like. But people, it was like awkward because I like didn't know what to do. I was like,
Yeah.
"Sorry, like I'm just now getting to this."
Right.
But I mean, I try really hard to interact with people. Um, I think right now that's like where I'm at is just trying to like interact as much as I can, even though I'm in such a weird headspace. I'm so grateful, and I couldn't be more grateful for the support that I've gotten throughout
Hmm.
this experience because people have been so kind and supportive, and the messages I received after I was cut, even like the paragraphs that people were writing me that I inspired them and that they're going to go try this year because they can. I mean, that's
Right.
just amazing. And I really never thought I would make that much of an impact.
As you're saying this, I'm even thinking about the adjustment from like, you're going back to school and it's like you went from going on the crafty runs. Now the crafty run is you have to go to your actual cafeteria to get food, or there's no
I know.
contestant.
I have no one to take me.
No, no, Amy, the contestant manager, telling you to get up and go to set. It's like you got to get yourself up and go to school.
I
It's like
know.
things like
No,
that.
it's weird. Let me tell you. So when I came back from getting cut, okay, that sounds horrible. When I got eliminated, I basically I was fine. I genuinely was. I remember when I made top 10, it was just like I was that's when I think I started getting really tired and kind of like missing home more. I was just I'm happy where I'm at. And I think when I was eliminated, I was content and I was grateful for the experience and I was ready to go home and see my family and you know what I mean. Um, and I think when I got home, I had like 2 days and I had to go right back to school.
Hmm.
And that was really hard. I had to go to school and pretend like basically nothing happened. And I had to just walk in. And I remember everybody's eyes were on me. And I got to school, and my school had invited like press at like lunch to interview me the day I got back. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like, this is a lot.
Wow.
And I ended up like not going back to school for like a couple more days
Oh
because I
my
like
God.
couldn't
Wow.
handle it. But like that's the stuff that happens where it's like the transition is weird to
Uh-huh.
come back to like normal life for sure.
Think about like all the essays. I mean, I don't know if it's like if you go to college or if it's just stuff the rest of your high school career, like what American Idol taught me or what, things that will help you stand out in your academic
Oh
career.
my god, I think about that all the time for like my college resume. Like I'm so excited to write this essay.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited because I have so much to say.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And that's cool. I mean, I've loved hearing what you've had to say because there's so many different angles to it. There's being on television, there's being a musician, I think the biggest takeaway that I have from speaking to you is like what's it like to go from being a normal high school student to an American Idol contestant, not to mention somebody who everybody's been talking about all season. It's like, and then coming back to real life, I don't know. It's like it's not as it was. It's something new. It's something where you take what you've learned and you have so much to look forward to, and still having high school to get through and college and everything. But as far as what's in store for you, this is just going to be American Idol is going to be a part of your future, and things that you learned on that show will be a part of your future.
Right. No, you're so right. And the lessons that I take from it, like I will be keeping with me for the rest of my life, which is I couldn't be more. I'm so lucky that I've gotten to experience this now because I'm at such a point in my life where I am learning and growing every day. And I think that is truly the best opportunity to do so in my craft and what I love to do. So, I mean, I'm really lucky.
Is there one big lesson that you learned, or is that just impossible, like from everything that you took away?
I have so many, but I think one of them is just like the confidence that I gained from this experience has helped me so much, and like just knowing that anyone can do this. If you love something enough, you can do anything you want at any
Mm-hmm.
age. Like age doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And if you work hard enough and if you love something enough, you can do anything you want. And I like dreams are real and dreams come true. And I strongly believe that anything can happen if you work hard
I
and
think.
you love
Go ahead.
something enough.
I think that's almost like perfect advice. If anybody listening happens to want to try out for American Idol, it's like go for it. Just
Do it. You have to do it. It's the best experience, and the people you meet, it's wild.
even if I'm not a musician, I would pay to just go there and experience it. Like I don't know. I don't have to be in the competition. Just like I'll pay, and I want to just be around
Someone get him
everybody.
tickets. You
Yes.
have to come. You have to come.
I'm just talking about being there like the whole time. Like I want to like go to Hollywood Week. I just want to like
Just like
be
stand. Just like we'll just have you
yeah,
like stand there.
like
Be like,
while you
hey,
guys
like
are
he
jamming
wants to
out.
just like watch.
Yeah. Like
That'd be
VIP.
amazing. They
He's
need to do that. They need to like let people like I don't know. That'd be really cool because it's a really fun thing to experience.
the American Idol experience. That's what they gotta.
Dang, maybe we should start something.
Well, they did have I don't know if you knew that at Disney World they had there. It was called the American Idol experience. It was like they had like a fake set where they
I've
had
heard of that. No, no, no,
yeah,
no. I've heard of that. That's awesome.
yeah.
I like didn't really know much about what it was, but I've heard of it.
Uh-huh. Actually, well, so interestingly, I went there like 2012, and it was like it's a mock set, and there's contestants and mock judges, but the winning prize is an actual ticket for the show, and that exhibit closed like years ago, but the ticket
Like
never.
golden ticket?
Yeah, like a gold. You can go on the real show as a contestant, but
That's so cool.
yeah, the exhibit closed years ago, but the ticket never expired. So, and even the fact that like American Idol was on Fox and then got canceled, got brought back on ABC, if you went to that thing like 10 years ago, you can still go to American Idol today with that thing from the American Idol experience. I think I'm correct. Now, if somebody is listening and wants to tell me I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but the last I heard, that is how it works. It never expires.
That is awesome. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Oh my god, I want to know who has one. If anyone out there has one, send it to me because I want to see it.
Well, now I'm thinking, what if we just help somebody get on American Idol? What if someone happens to be a winner of the American Idol experience?
Oh my god, someone DM me and send me your idol experience. Wait, that's so cool. I wish that was still a thing.
I
That's really
know.
cool. Would you do it? Do you sing?
I mean, I sang in a band in high school. I've written a couple songs. I mean,
Oh, that's
I
do
wait.
it.
Why am I forgetting to mention that I actually stood in line in 2017 and like auditioned for the show? I did it as an experiment. I
What? You auditioned?
Okay, I wanted to. So again, I'm not a professional working musician, but I'm into TV. I want to produce television and stuff. I
Oh,
wanted to
cool.
know what it was like to be a contestant. I thought this is an experiment. I sang Grenade by Bruno Mars like okay. But I wanted to know what it was like to stand in line, and now it's all virtual, but I stayed in the hotel, and then I waited in line with the buses and met a couple, met cool people, and then there were the young producers, and I sang for one of them and got a little bit of feedback, and I read through the contracts they gave me, and I didn't make it, but I walked away feeling like I
Wait, that's
auditioned.
cool.
It was literally right when they were bringing it back on ABC, like canceled it on Fox. So I kid you not, the bus was like, I think I could tell because I was like up close to the bus. The ABC logo was like a sticker. So I'm like, I bet you it says Fox under there. And they bought a sticker that says ABC to cover it up because they didn't want to have to like
Wait, that's
get a whole new
awkward.
bus. Yeah, I was
That's
so
funny.
tempted to like, I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, I want to like pull up this and see if it says Fox under there.
Yeah, they're like, who is this guy pulling at the bus sticker?
Right.
You're just
Yeah.
like, no, I have to see. That
Yeah.
was actually really funny. Oh, that's awesome. Do you still write
Well,
music?
I mean, I don't know. It's funny. Part of me wants to get back into it. Like, I mean, it's so hard to find time because, like, because I'm not like used to it, I just cannot write songs quickly. It just takes forever. I literally,
No, I get that.
I
It's
like,
practice.
I had this like, I don't know why I'm getting so off topic, but I had this like this melody like I came up with in like 2016 at a songwriting camp that I've had for like, but I could never come up like finish the song. So like I had like this melody in my head from like 5 years, no, 6 years ago that I like still haven't come up with. And then I've written like five other like actual full songs,
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
I don't think I can call myself like an actual like artist.
Yes, you can. That's awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
really cool. Not a
Thank
lot of
you.
people can write music. Yeah, I love writing music. Um, it's become very therapeutic for me
Hmm.
in the last couple months for sure. It's all about practice and just doing it over and over again.
Right. Yeah. It's fun, that's for sure. And it's like when you do it and you finish, it's like so like it's
It's
the
such a
best
good feeling.
feeling.
I play like the song I wrote, like I have a song that I've been working on, and I literally just sing it all day every day, just
Hmm.
like 24/7, because I'm like addicted to the fact that I finished a song. It's like fun.
What's your favorite part about writing? Is it the melody? Is it the words?
I love coming up with like a good like chord progression and
Hmm.
like finding a good melody. And I also just like what I'm going through right now, like what I'm going through in my life at that moment,
Hmm.
and just finding something, you know what I mean? Like truly just like putting it how you feel on paper is just the best feeling. It's like
Oh yeah.
every song has something to do with something that actually means something to you. So I think that's my favorite.
When I write a song, like I want to envision it on the radio. I'm just so picky about like this chord progression has
No,
to
that's
like,
exactly
you know?
that's exactly how I am, and it's hard because a lot of my songs, so I have like one. I wish I could sing them for you right now, but I have one that's like kind of like I don't know how to explain it. They're like I like more like upbeat things right
Yeah.
now. Like that's my thing right now. Here, wait, can I sing you a song?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I'll be right back. I'm going to
Okay.
get my guitar. By the way, I don't really know how to play the guitar. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of just like do
Me
it.
neither. No, I don't know. Same with piano. I just am like I think this is C, I think it's E, but
Okay, so this is like I'll just play like a piece of each and I'll explain.
hmm.
So there's like this one which I can never see on the radio, which is my problem. Reflection, rose-colored glasses, deep blue eyes I couldn't see through the masses. Let me go, let me go. I don't know, show me the road, 'cause I let you go. Okay, that's one of them.
Cool. Very cool.
And it's very like I just don't see that ever on the radio. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like it's not the vibe I want to give.
Right.
And then this is like more of like a hobby song, which I feel like could be. When you're drunk at a party and you're holding someone else, so I love when you call me, but you're never by yourself. I hope you you're happy, whatever that may be, cause I wouldn't know. When you're dancing with her, tell me, does it feel the same? When you tell her you love her, do you say it the same way? I know we said it didn't hurt, but you know deep down it kind of stings. Cause here we are, two passing cars, going the opposite way. And in my dreams, just stand with open arms, but I can't move a thing. I can't move a thing. I don't know, it'd just be more like a chorus. I need to figure out a chorus. But that's that.
The build with that chord progression and the way the guitar like I was getting like 22 Taylor Swift a little bit, in the beginning. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the slowness of the first one and like the depth of the lyrics and the second one combines that depth with focusing on the pop elements of radio.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be so excited to hear both of those as finished products.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to work on them. I get kind of stuck. Like I like to like write like short little things and then I get stuck.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now. But yeah.
Yeah, no, writing's so fun. And I don't know. It's like I don't know. For me, I like I said, I find it challenging, but once you do it, it's like the best feeling in the world. So it's also like having to put yourself in the headspace because you have to like open up, you have to be vulnerable, you have to just like put yourself out there. That being said, is it easy for you or is it challenging? Because you obviously have the skills, but what it takes to put yourself in that position.
I think at first it's definitely hard. Lately I've been trying to write with like more people. Like I've been having a lot of like sessions and trying to like write with different people, which I think makes worlds of a difference is putting two minds together, which I think helps. Is like writing sessions are very like therapeutic. You're kind of like opening up about your experiences that you're going through right now and then kind of putting two minds together and kind of getting that rolling, which I think makes such a difference, is kind of just taking someone else's perspective on a situation as well. So, I mean, I think I struggled with it in the beginning, but it's become so much like therapy for me that like it's helpful.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Totally. I mean, being an artist, whether it's performing on stage or recording in the studio or writing in your room, wherever you're writing or with people, it's got to be the best job in the world.
Oh, it's the best. And I'm so lucky that I have something like this in my life because not a lot of people, you know what I mean, can find something that they're passionate about. And I'm just really lucky that I have that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, what's next for you? Because I know that was kind of like a tease of like, what we can expect. You're obviously working on music, but anything in particular you want to tell us about for the future?
I mean, I'm going to be doing some shows soon. I've been kind of just trying to be a kid for a minute again and just kind of experience normal high school things. But now I'm kind of getting back on track and getting the groove of things. I think I'm doing a show with Clark Beckham coming up at the end of the summer. I'm actually going to Europe for like 2 weeks this weekend. So I'm kind of just taking that time to like relax. And I think end of August, early September, I'm doing a show in Cleveland, like a hometown show type thing with Clark Beckham, which will be really fun. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, doing some shows, events, trying to just get back on track. Writing so much. I really hope to release some stuff soon. So
yeah, good to be a kid. That's always important. That's what I like. I like that you're just like not work all the time because live it up. And I was actually thinking about Clark because I remember watching his videos and being so obsessed every week, and like I could not wait for the Idol breakdown.
We all were too. We would like get together and watch it.
Yeah. It's so weird, like, because I would hear him talk about you guys, and then like now I'm talking to you, so it feels like so wild because I would remember hearing him like refer to you guys by name, and then I'm getting to talk to you. Is
it weird? Is it like fun?
Oh, it's
like getting to like meet all these people. Because
God.
meeting everyone was so fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, you get to actually meet them in person. It's just a pleasure to get on a Zoom call, but like to actually, like have a conversation with you guys, that's because like I never want to be the type of person that's like, oh my God, like I don't want to like treat people differently as far as like it's not celebrity status, but you're also at the same time watching these people week after week. So admittedly there
Right.
is a little bit of like, wow, it's surreal. And not to mention Clark is somebody who like I love what he has to say every week about the show. I was a member of the Groove Crew, and the stuff he did with like you could be a member of his channel.
Yeah.
So it's just it's awesome to get to be in that position. Like I just all I want to do is like help you guys speak about it because it's so fun to hear, and I'm sure that it's fun for you guys to reflect. I appreciate your time, Emerson, and
Of course.
if people are not already following you or anything that they need to know about your music, where can they stream? Where can they follow? Take it away.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Emyrson Flora. All my social medias are the same. And I try and post as much as I can on TikTok and Instagram on music. And stay tuned for stuff on Spotify. There's nothing yet, but hopefully there will be soon. So just make sure that you continue to just follow my journey because I hope there's a lot to come. So
Cool. Well, if you want to follow this podcast and if you like this conversation, you can do so on Instagram or TikTok at Idle Unaired Podcast. If you are listening, make sure that you subscribe, rate, leave a review. You can also watch these interviews on YouTube. Just type in American Idol Unaired. We have got interviews with singers that you didn't see, contestants that did not air this season, as well as aired exceptions like this one. Wherever you're watching or listening, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Emerson. And guys, have an amazing day.